Rip City, Rip City, Rip City, Rip City. Yo, how many mics do we rip on the daily? Some say many, many.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rip City Basement, bridging the gap between hip-hop fanatics' demand to hear technique and Portland's electronic obsession. Today, we have a very special guest. I'm here at C3 Industries with Vishal Rungta, co-founder, president, and CFO of C3 Industries. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, Brendan, man. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. It's great to meet you.
Yeah, bro. You too.
Yeah, we just got done with the coolest tour that I think we've ever seen in the cannabis industry. This place is massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some size to it. You know, I mean, listen, we like to think of it as not being huge. There are a lot of places that are even bigger, but we want to walk the line between being able to produce high quality boutique flower, but doing it at some level of scale so that we can actually get it out in the market.
Absolutely. And what has been the strategy of actually branding this and getting it out to market?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, that's been an ongoing developing strategy, but, you know, as you see, our product brand is Cloud Cover Cannabis. You know, it's in a bunch of stores in Portland, and really what we focused on has always been quality first, right? So for us, it's all about actually growing the fire, having high quality product, and if we do that well, which you know, we hope we are, the brand will kind of build a following. So we've done it very organically thus far.
Wow. And how many stores in the Portland area are you in now?
We're in, by last count, we're in just about 175 stores in the greater Portland area. And, you know, I mean, hats off to our sales team. That's been all really just an organic effort. We've really just grown the business over the last couple of years, putting out good quality product, being consistent, being reliable. And that's great because a lot of the retailers have loved it and they've been carrying our product regularly.
That's incredible. How did this whole thing get started? Was it just you guys smoking one day and you had an idea like, let's do this? Or was someone the ringleader of this? What happened?
Yeah, shit, man, good question. I don't even really know now. It feels like it was 3 years ago, right? And it feels like a lifetime. But me and my two partners, one of which was my brother, the other is a childhood friend. We all grew up together, grew up smoking weed, love it. And like, we saw a huge opportunity. We just wanted to produce high quality product. And so the three of us had been talking about it for a while. We saw an opportunity. We found this space. This building used to be a vacant building, really. It used to be a big Crown bottling factory, actually. And we came in and we knew this could work. And I mean, it was a long road. It took us about 15 months to build this place out and scrap it together. But we just had a vision to produce high quality flower. And that's really where we started. We started all on the flower side. And since then, now we've expanded it into, you know, we have concentrates that come from our flower as well. So we're offering a full line of Cloud Cover concentrates. We have pre-rolls. You know, we're building out our lab actually as we speak. But it was really all about that flower first. And you know, that's why our tagline is for the love of flower. And that's really where it started for us.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really how it started for everybody. Right?
Yeah, true that. Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like everyone who's been around this for a while knows, like, you know, flower is kind of where it all comes from. Right. Yeah.
And like we were just talking about earlier, it's not all about THC percentage like a lot of people think. There's way more to it in these buds that is just that quick high, you know.
Totally.
How many did they say cannabinoids in the plant? Over 100 and something?
Yeah, there's over 100 cannabinoids in various genetics of cannabis. And yeah, you know, it's funny. It's just you think back to the old days when we were all much younger and smoking weed, and no one was talking about THC percentages. And you know, the science now has evolved, so you have that information, you have labs testing it, but you know, unfortunately, the downside to that is that people focus only on THC and you overlook all of these other things like, was it grown properly? Was it cured properly? How's the aroma? How does it smoke? You know, is the ash on my joint white or is it black? You know, like, I mean, the tried and true old school methods that we all used to use to say this is fire, right? And so those are the things that we're still really focused on. You know, I mean, we grow some heavy hitters. We have high potency strains that are out in the market, but we also have things that are, you know, mid-teens THC that we think are complete fire because they have an incredible nose, an incredible flavor, and they just smoke right? So yeah, for us, it's definitely about more than THC, but you know, we try to provide that too. We want our customers to have kind of a full experience.
Gotcha. You guys have a full spectrum of products out there that could be for the old school smoker who wants to just stick with the flower. pre-rolls already ready to go, but now you have the tinctures coming out. Are you still an old school smoker? Is that how you like to consume?
Yeah, I mean, we are all mostly still flower people. I think in general that's true of us. I mean, I will say though, I've started dabbling in the other categories, and I'm exploring and kind of figuring that out. But there's something about smoking flower that will just always be a thing, at least for me, and I think for Encore and Joel, my partners as well, and for a lot of our team. There's, call it a nostalgia, call it a whatever, but like that's the experience that I'm used to and remember. And so, yeah, we still smoke flower, but again, I think we're starting to really experiment with the other categories too. And we want to, for us, it all starts with high quality flower, right? So the way the Cloud Cover brand is really focused is, even if we're making concentrates, it's starting with our flower that we grew. So you have the highest quality flower and trim that's going into these concentrates. Our pre-rolls are the same thing. So we're never using any third-party flower or third-party product to go into the Cloud Cover brand. Anything that has a Cloud Cover sticker on it came from flower that was grown in this facility.
That's amazing, man. And is that what is considered vertical integration? Is that part that you guys are aiming for? Is you're growing it, you're handling everything with trimming and getting it packaged up, and you're going directly to the consumer? Is that kind of...
Yeah. I think the real key piece for us with vertical, and that we're super excited about, is we're actually going into the retail business now as well in Oregon. And so so we have Cloud Cover, that's our product brand. This is actually our retail brand, High Profile. And so we are opening our first High Profile location on MLK Boulevard. That'll open in January. And to your point, then we'll be vertical. Then we'll be able to not only grow the products, process the products. We're building out our lab right now as well, actually right here in this facility. So we'll be able to do all of our processing in-house, and we'll have that last step of actually being able to retail directly to the consumer.
That's incredible. What do you think is the most exciting part for you about this company? I know you really focus on the flower, but what gets you out of bed every day, like coming to work and excited?
Yeah, good question. I think for me personally, I would say two things. One is going to be a really obvious one, which you just experienced, which is walking into our flower rooms. Oh, yeah. It never gets old, going into a stocked flower room and looking around and seeing the various genetics and getting hit with that smell when you open that door. I love that. That to me is again, that's the nostalgia. Like I couldn't even picture that when I was a kid, and to now be here and be like, this is ours, this is licensed, this is real, we're doing it the right way, is pretty exciting and never really gets old, like I said. But I think the other part is seeing that we're in these stores, and like I said, we haven't had like a super strong marketing behind this or branding or any of that. We have a brand that we love, and we're going to get the word out. But to see that we've managed to get in this many stores, and have consumers love it and look for the product because the quality is there, is huge. And really, I got to say, hats off to our team, my partner Joel, who oversees all of our cultivation and stuff. Like, they just pump out fire all day long, and it's resonating, and that's awesome, because that was the whole point. We just wanted consumers to say, we want to smoke good weed, and you guys can provide it. Wow.
That's what we all want, right? None of us want. You remember getting like a sack and someone brings it and they're like, oh, this is the best, and you like roll it up and you're like, dude, come on, man.
There's like no bigger letdown, right? Than like that excitement of when it arrives, and then that crash when you're like, wow, that was garbage. That hurt, so.
Let's not invite him in the circle again.
Yeah.
And you talked about whether it burns white or it burns black. This is something I've been touching on with a lot of people I smoke with. I've been telling them that, and I feel like I'm like the only one saying that, but correct me if I'm wrong. Does that have to do with the flushing process?
Yeah, it can be the flushing process. It can be the cure process. So how quickly is it dried? Was it done properly? There's a lot of variables that go into it. And that's the other thing I think, folks who don't do this every day. And frankly, I can't even say that. I'm not a master grower myself of some sort. Our cultivation team is the one who knows, right? But there's all these variables. And even if you grow something well, but at the last mile, rush it through a drying process or don't trim it very well, that can also ruin the smoke and impact the flower, right? So it's about being meticulous the whole way through, and which, our team is dialed in on.
I can tell. It's amazing, like if you can't do, you're not always going to be able to do everything yourself, but the fact that you've hired professionals that are like dialed in and specific, concentrated on their part, is pretty amazing. How many employees do you have working around here?
So we have about 45 right now, which we're, super proud of, frankly. And it's exciting to see this parking lot fill up every single day with everyone coming to work. And when the lab comes online and then our high profile dispensary comes online, we'll be at roughly more like 70 people. So that's exciting. And that's our Oregon team.
So not only are you providing good product for people like me, but you're providing jobs for the state of Oregon, and people are coming to work happy. All your employees out there that we talk to were just like excited to show us, their part and everything. It's incredible, man. This world is just, it's amazing that the only thing separating us from like back then to now is of like whether it's okay or not is just the year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It is kind of crazy to think of just, I think, we all grew up in a different world, and to now be here and seeing licensed dispensaries open and people can go in and have a shopping experience, and, you and I can go and tour, a bunch of plants that we can just do now. It's super exciting. And like you said, I think our team takes great pride in every bit of this, whatever their part of it is, which is awesome. And it feels really good. Like I said, we're super proud to have this team and be able to provide jobs and provide good weed and hopefully, continue to expand and do it the right way, right? We don't want to grow for the sake of growing. No pun intended, I guess. But, but we do think that having a retail experience makes sense, and being able to talk directly to the customer makes sense, and it enables us to put cloud cover out there in an even more specific way. And we want people to be able to find good product.
Yeah. Whose idea was it for the packaging and the name and the colors? Like, do you have a whole design team for that, or was it you guys?
Yeah, no, we could not take credit for that. We actually worked with a local Portland designer. Actually a gentleman named Thomas Bradley, who I'd love to give a shout out for that, because he did a great job. So, Thomas actually came up with the cloud cover name. Obviously we were involved in it. He gave us a few ideas, and this was the one that resonated for us. And he designed the color palette, he designed the icon, and it was great. And frankly, we really wanted to work with him because we loved just his style and his aesthetic, and I think he killed it. We're really happy with the brand that we have.
Absolutely. How many products do you guys have total right now? Like different, between the pre-rolls, the bags, the tinctures?
Yeah. So really, I would say right now on the flower side, what we do primarily is, what I call kind of bulk flower like this. And then the dispensaries will break it down further. We have pre-rolls. And then, on the concentrate sides, we have terp sugars, we have shatters, we do THCA, we can do diamonds. We also do offer cartridges, which we are rolling out. So we'll have vape cartridges. And really what we focus on are what we call sauce carts. So they're a full spectrum offering. They're not distillate only. And so that's something we're excited to be rolling out. So those are the major categories that we're in right now.
I want to give a little bit of education on this, because it's something I'm not even too clear on how to explain.
Sure.
When it says, when people talk about adding terps, putting terpenes into things, what exactly does that mean, and how do you do that naturally?
Yeah, well, so unfortunately it varies, meaning some terpenes are not natural. They are synthetic terpenes too. What you're looking at here with something like this, these cloud cover concentrates, right? Like this already has the natural terpenes. They were never removed. So we run what's called a hydrocarbon extraction, which actually preserves the entire cannabinoid profile and all of the terpenes in the plant. So this product actually has the full cannabinoids of the plant that it was derived from, as well as all the terpenes. Nothing has been added back or anything like that. Sometimes with distillate, which is when you basically distill it down to only the THC, that will also remove terpenes. And so then in those instances, they can add back terpenes, and those can be either true cannabis terpenes that they've kind of separately harvested, or it can be synthetic terpenes. So with distillate products, sometimes you'll have terpenes reintroduced, but with this type of product, the terpene profile and the cannabinoid profile is all completely preserved.
Got you. And that's more so for like flavor, taste, like the way it smokes.
Flavor, taste, even the aroma and smell on it, and then also the experience, right? Because again, like, all the various cannabinoids will impact what the high is like, as opposed to, distillate is just THC, so that's one type of high. This is much more like smoking flower from an experience standpoint, because flower has all of the cannabinoids and terpenes. So it's what I think they refer to as the entourage effect, the idea that you have all of these cannabinoids working together and the terpene profile.
That makes a lot of sense. Man, there's just so much to it that people don't know. Like,
yeah. Well, and listen, I know what I know, but I am not the level of expertise that our cultivation team is or that our lab team is. I mean, they can go far deeper than I can.
Oh man. Well, you do have one hell of a team. I'll give it to you. Everyone's very knowledgeable around here, and this is the real deal, man. I gotta tip my hat to you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of work to get here and a lot of good people. So, we're excited to be at this point.
Okay, I gotta know what is your favorite bud to smoke that you grow?
Sure. No, it's an easy one for me. I have been a diehard fan of our Wookie Girl 91 ever since really probably the first room that we grew it in, and it's one of our staples. It can definitely be found out in the dispensaries, and yeah, so that's my go-to, and I love that variety.
Man, I know it's got to be a good feeling when people are like, that's your weed? Oh man. And they get that look like, listen, hey, I've been smoking weed for a long time and that stuff's good, right?
Yeah, no.
People come up to you when you tell them that that's you. And
absolutely. I was walking the other day and I ran into someone I didn't know who was wearing a cloud cover hat. And I was like, oh, where'd you get that? And I guess he had got it at some dispensary that he shops at, and was just repping the apparel. And it was great because we had this moment where I'm like, oh, like that's us. Like, we do cloud cover. He's like, oh, I love cloud cover. And I was like, that was a cool feeling, so.
Yeah, must be really rewarding. There's so many different avenues that you guys are doing, like the growing, the wholesaling, which is pretty exciting. You get to deal with a lot of different dispensaries. Yep. And your product is all over the city, which is crazy. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, and we've gone outside of Portland now too. So you can find us, on the coast. You can find us down south in some places. You can find us in Bend in some places. And so, it's definitely, I think our biggest concentration is in the greater Portland area, but we also are trying to hit other parts of the state because, we want to get the brand out there and get high quality flower out there.
Most definitely. Is there, so for the future, I know you have the dispensary coming open here on MLK, is that right?
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
That should be open, we hope. There's always hoops to jump through, but we hope. We're actually renovating the space right now. It should hopefully be open by about end of January. And yeah, it's on MLK right across from the Nike store.
Oh, perfect location, man.
Yeah, we're pumped. We're super excited. It's a great location. And I think, again, I just think it'll be nice to have a retail location where we can also help curate products for consumers, pick a lot of other brands that we also think are doing a great job out there, and rep cloud cover.
That's incredible, man. Well, I'm rocking with you. I'm excited to smoke more of your product. I'm probably going to blaze on my show next time and be like, yo, I know these guys. I got the whole tour. What's up, Rip City?
Love it, my man. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I would love to hear your feedback as you smoke it, man. We always appreciate good feedback. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you giving us the tour. I know me and David had a great time checking everything out, and congrats on all the success. And I'm excited about the upcoming the store opening. That's going to be a big deal. I feel like I want to be there for opening.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, we'll make sure you're there. Okay. Let's be talking as that comes up for sure. No, and listen, I appreciate you and David coming out today, spending the time, taking a look at what we're doing. It means a lot to us. And like I said, we haven't really put the word out yet, really. And it's great to be able to talk with folks like you and start getting the word out and hopefully, build some fans. So.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we're here for. Thanks for joining us on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Brendan. I appreciate it.
90.7 FM. This is the Rip City Basement. Once again, my name is Brenboy. I'm here chilling at C3 Industries with my cloud cover brothers. You know what I'm saying? All right, we'll see you guys next time on Rip City Basement.
Rip City, Rip City, Rip City, Rip City. Yo, how many mics do we rip on the daily? Some say many, some say many.
Hanging out here with Brenboy at Rip City Basement, 90.7 FM.
Rip City, yo, how many mics do we rip on the daily? Some say many, some say many.